After that story I told last video about my friend and that succubus, I can see you guys somewhat roasting him here, especially about atheism. And out of fairness, I did say something as well in my video about atheists. I actually do have a funny story about that. You know, many years ago, I had to be like maybe 13. I remember I was close friends with this girl in my science class. This is the same girl in other videos who I mentioned asked me out to prom. And she was like super Christian to the point where it turned me off. I was like, listen, everything don't gotta be about Jesus here, okay? And she got knocked up like right after the graduation, right after graduation, she got knocked up or something like that. And it was by the dude who she took to prom instead of me. But that's okay, because I said no, right? So this girl, we were both 13, and she used to call me Mushu. I don't know why, like Mushu. I still don't get the reference, but I'm a Mushu, okay? So when she calls me on the phone. We work on our science homework together, and then she helped me with my Spanish homework. I don't speak Spanish, but she does. So boom, then we were talking on the phone regularly, right? Just, hey, what's up? Yeah, thanks for helping with homework and blah, blah. And she mentioned she ended up going down a story about how God saved her father's life. And I was like, how did God save your father's life? And I'm saying this with skepticism. I'm 13, very edgy. And she said, by the way, very insensitive that I said that. But, she said, well, when I was 11, my father was in the hospital. He was really sick. Like he was going to pass away. That's how bad his sickness was. They were ready to pull the plug. We were going to let him go. And I remember I kept praying for him by his bed. And the day after I prayed for him, he got better. So she told me that. And I was like, that's cap, bro. Bro just got better. He just got better. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that has anything to do with God, by the way. I doubt praying to your sky daddy suddenly fixed this dude who was terminally ill. Probably medicine fixed him, because that's what science does. She was telling me, no, God heals people. And I was being edgy about it. Remember, I was 13. It aggravated me. The thing is, at that time period, I was pretty much an atheist as an edgy 13-year-old kid. And as I've gotten older, I started to really get into religious studies, right? And being an atheist still, I still get into religious studies. And I remember being so mad all the time. As I read through various scriptures, I saw what to me was a deeply troubling portrayal of God. I was reading the Bible, and this being, God, this dude I perceived as a psychopath. This dude was violent. It's contradictory. He seems hateful. This God is all loving, yet you see what he's doing in this Bible. You see what he's doing in this story here. What kind of all loving God does this? And the religious texts were filled with inconsistencies. And the more I analyzed them rationally, the more I became enraged with them, reading the stuff literally. And if you were around during my time on Twitch, you probably witnessed this firsthand. I would go on rants for hours, having entire streams dissecting religious stories or situations, exposing what I saw as hypocrisies and pointing out the harm religion has inflicted on humanity throughout history. It wasn't just me ranting. I carried that frustration with me everywhere. I walked around constantly angry, unable to get over the feeling of outrage over what I was uncovering by researching religion. What made me even more angrier was the realization that my parents had forced religion on me. I couldn't wrap my head around it. Why was it necessary? Well, not necessarily. Why was it necessary to shove Jesus Christ and God in my face just to teach me how to be around certain people? Couldn't morality, kindness, and discipline be taught without all these rituals, fear-mongering about the afterlife, and divine mandates? You can't teach your son how to be a man without these texts? What was even the point of going to church? To me, church felt like a scam. They'd pass around that collection plate, always asking for money, and then spend the rest of the time gossiping about people in the congregation. And the judgment. Don't want to get started on that. Church can be very judgmental. It's supposed to be the house of God, a place of love and acceptance. But instead, it felt like a room full of people who just wanted to feel superior, like they were more holier than you. You know what I'm saying? Because they spent more time at the church. They're better than you. You know what I'm saying? And then there was the worship itself. People would claim they felt close to God, uplifted, blessed. But to me, that had nothing to do with divine intervention. That was just biology. Naturally, if you're in a room full of people singing together about love, protection, and grace, you're gonna feel good. Psychologically speaking, this is facts. The sense of euphoria isn't proof of God. It's just camaraderie and human connection. It's the same reason why people get chills at concerts, right? Or feel inspired during a motivational speech. You ever been to a concert or something like that? You feel like it's nice being around all these people. You know what I'm saying? It's like you feel uplifted. That's just the brain reacting to the environment, not some supernatural presence. And yet everyone around me was convinced it was something divine. It's Jesus. It's God. So as an atheist, I would walk around mad about anybody who was religious. I thought you were caught up in some massive psychological operation. You're plugged into the matrix. Like, yeah, you're cooked, bro. You believe in something that can't be proven by science. You're cooked. But then, this is what's so funny to me about this, right? So funny about this story. I was mad at religion and religious people. But I started to realize I'm not being rational myself. You know why? Instead of looking for contradictions, flaws, and hypocrisy, which many do exist in terms of inconsistencies, questionable morality, and human corruption in religion as a whole, I started to realize, how is this rational or logical to be this emotionally invested into something, yet what have I done to find the truth myself? How will being mad at belief systems fix my own questions and concerns about existence itself? Do I really know how anything works? I could let my ego inflate right now and act like I got all the answers, right? I got all things figured out, right? Because I broke out of the religious cycle. But how much do I understand about life from the most fundamental levels? I could be caught up in proving what's wrong, but never considered proving what's right. You know, let's talk math. Let's talk science here. So I changed my focus. I stopped looking at religion. No more spirituality nonsense or anything like that too. You know what I'm saying? When you actually start studying science and math, you start realizing that though chaos doesn't create precision and randomness doesn't create balance, somehow, the entire universe, everything from the orbits of the planet to the structure of our DNA, everything follows very specific patterns and laws. You can even look at nature, the way trees grow, the way hurricanes spiral, even how our body is proportioned. Everything operates at every level, to the tiniest particle, to the length of existence itself. Even the fundamental forces of gravity, electromagnetism, and so forth, all of this is tuned with such preciseness that if anything could be slightly different, atoms wouldn't form, planets wouldn't exist, and life would be impossible. This level of precision is like rolling a trillion-sided die and it landing on the same exact number every time. These fundamental laws, scientifically and mathematically, of this universe are too precise. But how does this prove God? It doesn't. You thought I was going to say this proves God exists? No, it doesn't. Okay. But I asked myself, how? How is this so precise? How does something as complex as the universe operate with such high order? How does nature create such intricate, efficient systems without intention? I don't think it's unfair to say, if you're following my point here, we are in a very intellectual system right now, right? The intelligence of this system is beyond levels of smartness. Is this something we can even comprehend? Truly? This universe is operating on an entirely different plane of logic. Think about it. This universe is not just functional. It's efficient. The laws of physics don't just exist. They work together perfectly. The way energy moves, the way matter behaves, the way life itself unfolds, it's all part of an interconnected system that is so finely balanced that even the slightest tweak would make existence impossible. And yet, here we are. But then we have to ask the question, was this intellectual system created without some sort of guidance? Did it just poof? All these intricate laws and mathematics suddenly just appeared out of nowhere in our universe, and that's it. That's life, y'all. No intention, no cause, cosmic accident, freak occurrence, and we are in a meaningless void in reality, right? Is that life? Or was this intellectual system engineered or designed at the very least? A system set in motion with the level of planning beyond anything we can grasp. Now, mind you, I don't have the answers. I'm asking a bunch of questions. I don't claim to have the answers, but I'll tell you this. Sometimes I feel like we make excuses for explanations we don't have, right? Human interpretation is very flawed, and history has shown how easily people can twist spiritual ideas to serve their own agendas. Everything we experience, reality itself, is built on a system so complex, so mathematical, and so precise that the idea of it forming without guidance or intention by who or what, I don't think is completely unfair to speculate. I think what's really getting people jumping from 0 to 100 about being atheist or not is the question of, if there is a designer, what kind of designer are we talking about? Is it an entity, a force, a collective consciousness, or something beyond our ability to define? That's why I said last video, I think there is a creator or designer, but is it a man sitting in the clouds? I very highly doubt it. Maybe someone designed it, our existence, and disappeared. Maybe someone set this existence, this intellectual system in motion, like they started it like a machine and just ran off, disappeared. That's it. Maybe the designer is the collective consciousness of the universe. When people say God is everywhere, maybe God truly is everywhere, but not in the sense of like some humanoid chilling in some other dimensions, like invisible eyes, like just watching right now in your room or wherever you are listening to this. You know what I'm saying? I actually have a theory about that, but this video is going on for too long, right? I'll wrap it up by saying this. All I know is this. In a complex intellectual system that we're in right now, it seems that we have the freedom of choice to believe or not believe. I actually believe the ability to have that choice is an intentional part of this design as well. So if you want to be atheist then. If you don't, then so be it. And maybe that's the point, y'all. Maybe this system was created in such a way that it doesn't force us to recognize its creator or designer. Maybe it doesn't force us to do that, but instead gives us enough room for doubt, exploration, educating ourselves, and for wondering. Instead of being obsessed with what side is right here, being religious or not, God is real or not, I believe there is one ultimate truth. We're meant to be amazed and utilize this system that we're in. Regardless of where you stand, you can't deny how breathtaking and intricate this reality is. Accident or not, we exist within something so precise, mathematically perfect, that it's impossible to not be amazed by it. The very fact that we're here, that you can hear me, and that we're conscious at this very moment in time, that's incredible in itself. Maybe our role isn't to have all the answers, but instead to be present, to be curious, and to stand in awe of the masterpiece we've been given the privilege to experience. Love life a little bit more, people. This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. Times Square. Nightmare 7 a.m. in the morning though. No surprise. Times Square's you and I under those lights. No disguise.
don't tell me everything you wanted was a lie. All those city lights, it's an endless night. Never expected you to bring me so much life. Close my eyes too long, then it's time to say goodbye. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Caution, wait a moment, keep my heart locked away, it's filled with emotion. Gave the key to you, right in front of you is open. Hey, try your best to not leave it broken. Oh, it's been a while since you know it's frozen. Not the